Hello students, I am Maneesha and in this video we are going to discuss a poem from a railway carriage written by Robert Louis Stevenson. Let us know something about the poet first. Robert Louis Stevenson was born in Scotland. He is remembered for his work Treasure Island, which is a children's classic. He also had a collection of numerous poems, one of which is from a railway carriage. And in this poem, Robert Louis Stevenson shares his experiences of a railway journey. He describes the speed of the train in a poetic way, relating with the scenic beauty outside the window of the train when it passes through different places and stations. Let us read the poem. I'll read the poem twice. From a railway carriage. Faster than ferries, faster than witches, bridges and houses, hedges and ditches, and charging along like troops in a battle, all through the meadows, the horses and cattle. All of the sides of the hill and the plain fly as thick as driving rain, and ever again, in the wink of an eye, painted stations whistle by. Here is a child who clambers and scrambles, all by himself and gathering brambles. Here is a tramp who stands and gazes, and here is a green for stringing the daisies. Here is a cart run away in the road, lumping along with man and load. And here is a mill, and there is a river, each a glimpse and gone forever. Once again, I'm going to read. Listen carefully, children. From a railway carriage. Faster than ferries, faster than ferries, faster than witches, bridges and houses, hedges and ditches, and charging along like troops in a battle, all through the meadows, the horses and cattle. All of the sides of the hill and the plain fly as thick as driving rain. And ever again, in the wink of an eye, painted stations whistle by. Here is a child who clambers and scrambles, all by himself and gathering brambles. Here is a tramp who stands and gazes, and here is a green for stringing the daisies. Here is a cart run away in the road, lumping along with man and load. And here is a mill, and there is a river, each glimpse and gone forever. Before starting a poem, children, I want to discuss something that we have all traveled by train and we all know what it likes travel by train, right? And if you are sitting by window, you know what it looks like. Looking outside, what kind of scenes, what kind of sights you can see. In this poem, the poet shares his experiences of a railway journey. Now we will start the poem. Faster than ferries, faster than witches, bridges and houses, hedges and ditches. In these lines, the poet says that the train runs very fast, the train runs more quickly than the ferries can fly or the witches can move. We all know that the ferries and witches have great power of portability. Here the poet compares the moving train with their pace and says that the train had greater speed. Bridges and houses, hedges and ditches. Children, hedges and ditches, these are the words. Let us understand the meaning of hedges. What is hedges? Hedges means cluster of small trees. Wait, I'll write it on the board. Cluster of trees or bushes used as fences. And what about ditches? Sorry. Ditches means long, narrow opening in the ground. Clear? So, bridges and houses, hedges and ditches, and charging along the troops in the battle, all through the meadows, the horses and cattle. In these lines, the poet says that the train rushes on, leaving bridges, houses, fences, ditches behind. When the train moves forward, it seems as the soldiers are attacking the enemy in the battlefield. It also leaves behind the green fields where horses and cattle are grazing. Meadows, here's one word, meadows. What do you mean by meadows? Meadows means green field where horses and cattle are grazing. So, all through the meadows, the horses and cattle means when the train moves forward, it leaves behind the green field where horses and cattle are grazing. All of the sides of the hill and the plain fly as thick as driving rain. The poet further says, all the scenes of hills and the plains were being crossed by train as quick as one drop of rain follows the another drop when it is raining heavily. The poet says that with the fast going train, everything seems to pass like raindrops in heavy rain. Children, see, here's the poet used as thick as a word. It is a simile. Poet used it as a as thick. A poet used simile as a poetic tool. The poet used simile as a poetic tool in the word as thick as. As thick as, it is a simile, and poet has used it as a poetic tool. And ever again, in the wink of an eye, painted stations whistle by. The poet further says, again and again, in very short moment, the train was crossing stations with a whistle. From the window of the compartment of train, building of stations was seen as painted pictures. Here is a child who clambers and scrambles all by himself and gathering brambles. Here is a child who clambers and scrambles. Children, there are words clambers and scrambles. Scrambles and scrambles means clambles and scrambles. What does it mean? It means climb with difficulty. Climb with difficulty. So here is a child who clambers and scrambles all by himself and gathering brambles. In these lines, the poet says that from the window of the railway carriage, he sees a child climbing a steep ground with great difficulty. Why with great difficulty? Because he is climbing all by himself and gathering brambles. And he also sees that he is climbing there for collecting blackberries. Children, these lines tell that if there is hope, one can find the way to reach anywhere. Here is a tramp who stands and gazes. In these lines, and here is a green for stringing the daisies. In these lines, the poet describes about a tramp, homeless man, homeless person we can say, who looks at the train with great amazement. Poet also sees that some ladies in a grassy land where they are making garlands for garlands of daisy flowers. Here is a cart run away in the road, lumping along with man and load. In these lines, poet says that he sees a cart moving slowly on the road, which is full of load, and lumping along with man and load, and the cart driver is sitting at the top of the load. And here is a mill and there is a river, each a glimpse and gone forever. The poet says that as the train moves, he sees mill and a river and many more objects. All these objects appears and then disappears so quickly that poet look them and within a second they disappear. They can never be seen again. So children, with this poem, what is the message? The message is that the railway journey is a source of happiness and full of experience, as the poet shares his experiences with us, and we also have many different kind of experience while traveling on train. It presents a panorama of continuous changing seasons. It also provides a chance to see the natural beauty which refreshes our mind. I hope you enjoyed the class. Thank you. Good day.